It's all unraveling. It's all unraveling.
Shalom, shalom. We would like to welcome you to the Truth Be Told Flex podcast, where I am your host, Sha'ir Yeshub Judah, sitting alongside of Aksafaya Sheoku. We're going to do it like we always do on every day that the Greeks call Thursday. We're going to have ourselves a great show. And if you have not done it yet, I ask that you would take time out and subscribe to the show and also hit that like button. With that being said, let's prepare ourselves to be edified.
With your mask on, check the me's, man, they bout to get their blast on. Prophecy, interpretation, Isaiah 55:11, so it ain't no faking. Crack your dough, it's getting close. I'm here to tell you.
Shalom, shalom, shalom. Aksafai, can you hear me, man?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right then, all right then. Yeah, I know I can't either. I don't like this format. This will be the last time we use this one, but hey, we don't know until we try it though, right?
Right.
Hey, you don't know until you try it. I don't like that. We'll never use that again, but that's okay. We're here now. We are live, and it is the day that the Greeks call Thursday. Exactly. We laying the hammer down. It has been a lot going on, brother.
Yeah, let's see how we can skate on this one today.
It's been a lot going on. It's interesting too, listening to people talk. At the bottom, you see it. It's all unraveling, episode number 48. All praises to the Most High for that.
Oh.
The title of the show is "How Did We Get Here?" How did we get here? You can always reach us by email, the Truth Be Told Flex Podcast at gmail.com. And I am Sha'ir Yeshub Judah.
Yeah, Aksafai.
And that is Aksafaya Sheoku. It's interesting listening to people talk about, the change in effects, what's going on. These people are wicked. I have absolutely no better way of saying what it is. If there was a word that was worse than wicked, that's what they would be.
Yeah.
They are wicked. Because on one hand, right, it seemed like things are going back to what we would call normal. But on the other hand, it seemed like, the things are getting worse than it ever have been. Hold on 1 second. I just got a message.
Well, y'all important leaders, and when y'all be live, or it's like y'all forget all about your phone.
Yeah.
Elder Shug.
We supposed to have a guest momentarily, and I was told that they didn't have the invite, and I know that I sent it, so I'm gonna try to send it again. Okay, I sent it to the wrong one. I bet you got it now. All right, there it is. All right. Man, communication is a beautiful thing. I don't care what nobody say. Technology is too, as long as it works. But when it don't work, man, out the window with the baby. But anyway, back to what I was saying. On one hand, it seemed like things are going back to what we would call normal, but yet on the other hand, all praises, sister. But on the other hand, it seemed like things are getting worse, right? And it was you that I was expressing it to, as well as my wife. And I was also sharing the same thing with another brother. We're about to move into the next phase of this war that they have declared on people. And when I say people, I don't mean just the American people. I mean people on all parts of the earth. In North America, in South America, in Asia, and in Africa, and Europe. Everywhere. They have waged the war on everybody. And we are about to go into the next phase of it. They done hit us with one phase. Mission has been accomplished. This is why.
Right.
And people you really need to understand that you cannot let your guards down because they are getting lax on. They're saying that the mask mandates are being lifted. They're no longer
Mandatory.
they're no longer pressuring you to get the jab. They're telling you that the numbers are going down. That's because mission has been accomplished.
Yeah.
They have reached their numbers, both with what they did with the jab and monetarily. They have reached their numbers, so therefore, but they done switched to a whole nother agenda. The right hand now got us looking at Putin and Ukraine. We have absolutely no idea what the effect that this is going to have economically.
It's already moving slow with it by taking stuff out of the store, moving this merchandise up out of here. We don't want to sell their product no more. So it's slowly hitting there. And before you move on, that second phase, along with the jab that they was pushing out in the first phase, how's that going to affect in the second phase? They got enough people, okay, when it's time to say, I guess, move to do this, to hit that switch on them, I guarantee you the majority of the ones are going to agree because they emotions. And I'm pretty sure that jab has something to do with emotional traits, cerebral.
Exactly.
So, yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna,
man.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they're gonna use them people in this next phase. Well, according to scripture, that they are gonna use these people in the next phase.
Right, exactly.
Matthew 24.
It's going to be crazy, man, to see, how people are going to react. Like I was talking to you, we was talking earlier today, it's going to be a sad thing, a hurtful thing, a scary thing when you walk into your grocery stores and there's no food there.
Right.
People don't actually see this happening, but this is what's going to happen. You dig what I'm saying? This is where we're going. The plan is to bring the whole population to their knees. This is going to be an economic collapse that everybody is going to feel. I used to have a joke when we used to go through economic collapse in the past. I used to tell people all the time, I'd be like, oh, I didn't even know we went through an economic collapse, because I'm poor, right? It didn't affect me.
That same joke. I said the same joke.
It didn't affect me. It affected people that had 401ks, and it affected people who had stocks, and it affected people who had money tied up in certain things. That's who it affected. It didn't affect the common people like you and I who go to work every day, who make a certain amount of money, who pay the same bills every month, and who was able to buy foods, however it is, and put just enough gas in our car. That didn't affect us. But this economic crunch that's before us, it's going to affect everybody but the elite.
Come on. We're gonna feel the pressure because once it start from the rich, the wealthy gonna lose. Then they're gonna start crushing on the rich, and it's gonna just keep falling down because they're not used to it. So now they're not used to it. They don't know how to be calm in a storm. So they not calm in the storm. They're gonna cause the ruckus. So we're gonna feel it.
Because this is what most people don't realize when it comes to war. War generates money. War is a generator that generates money. That's what war is for. None of these countries, especially America, small a, 3 Ks, do not want peace.
No.
They don't want peace. If these individuals that run these nations were so intelligent and as smart as they say that they are, if they have figured out a way to get to the moon, Negroes ain't been in no moon, but if they don't figure out how to get to the moon, you got individuals that's saying that they gonna go to Mars. You telling me that they can't come together and figure out a way how to have world peace?
They all sit together. They all
All
gather
the
together.
time. All the time. All the time.
So, no.
So you gotta go tell the reason why there is no peace is because they don't want peace. They are always generating the next enemy, the next
Right.
war. After World War II,
Yeah,
it was the Cold War.
Cold
You see
War.
what it was?
Yeah.
Then that happened. Then it was the threat of democracy versus communism. That's where we at now.
Yeah, we finishing that off because we started with the nukes hide under your desk,
Right.
and then after that it moved to the wall. Yeah, so yeah,
Democracy versus communism. That's where we at right now. And you got people these people who live, and I'm trying my best not to talk at people. I'm trying my best, to keep this in a middle ground. But you got these people out who all they do is live their lives. They go out, they drink, they party, they watch reality TV shows. They hang out with their boys and hang out with their girls. And they looking at what's happening on the TV, and they not realizing that we got here for a reason. Yeah. Nobody asked, how did we get here? Nobody asked, you know what I'm saying? Nobody asked.
They're not gonna ask. They rather hear if instead of asking, them just turn on the TV, flip a couple of news channels, and I just take it from there. I only need to watch the news just that one day. They gonna keep playing it. So all I need to know is bad people versus America.
How many times have I said that media, that TV, is the world's worst weapon that has been known unto man, man?
Right.
They can do and say whatever it is that they want to. In fact, a brother of mine sent me a video that was explaining the thin line between digital AI and reality. There are so many people that we see on TV that ain't even real people.
I believe you.
And I just told my wife the other day that I truly believe that there are news stories that the media make up.
Oh yeah. The people that's sitting in them chairs, the people that's working at their company, all they get is handed something to read.
That's all they get. There are no more real journalisms. No. So before we get this show cracking, before we get this show going, we're going to start this off with our very own Sister Delta.
Oh man, she here?
She is here. Oh, how you doing, sister? There it is.
Shalom, brothers. How y'all doing? Shalom.
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 How are y'all tonight? This conversation is good. Oh my goodness.
It's a lot going on, sister.
Yeah. It definitely is. And I hate to be one of those people that be like, everything's about us. But at the end of the day, it is all about us. It's all about the Israelites. Everything that we've been praying for and saying that we want is coming to pass. It's happening in our lifetime. We're seeing it. So shout out to y'all. This conversation is needed. People thought it was a game. It's not a game. People really are showing who they are and how they really don't believe in the scriptures. They really don't believe that those are our ancestors in the books and these things are really going to happen. It's showing that y'all are just talking. You don't really believe it.
Right. Exactly. Everybody, the majority of people nowadays think that they don't see the finality of what it is that they're living. And especially us over here in the West, we feel like everything is going to always be okay, Sister Delta.
They do. They really believe it and don't know that just one day the whole government is just going to disappear.
It's
not
just
going to
going
be
to
no
fall.
news. It's not going to be nothing going on. They're going to be gone thinking that they're safe somewhere.
Exactly.
But we're all going to be out here on our own. It's not going to be pretend anymore. They're going to then expose themselves and expose that they don't care what happens to people.
Exactly.
Right now it's still right now it's still about money and politics, but one day all of a sudden they're not going to care. And what will our people do then?
That's kind of hard to say since they trust in their oppressors.
Right. They gonna fall right in line with what it is that they want them to fall. Have you ever heard of the Judas goat?
I haven't.
You never heard of the Judas goat? Is a goat that looked like all the other goats, and he come in and he lead the sheep right to the slaughterhouse. But when they get to the door of the slaughterhouse, the Judas goat steps to the side. He don't go in the slaughterhouse. That's exactly what's happening right now to all of us as people. That's the Judas goat.
That sound like what's that? Rex 187? Yeah.
Exactly. So I mean, and everything that's happening right now was by design, both by these world leaders and also by the Most High as well. All of this is because he told us it was going to happen. And that's what Sister Delta is telling us. And us as Hebrew Israelites who know who our heritage is, who know that we are the people of that book. And this is something that I tell people all the time. We are living in a time that the prophets have looked for. Yes. This is the time that the prophets wish they lived in.
They said we said that's what we wanted. We get what we want.
Ezra said it too. Ezra, he said how you know who gonna make it, who ain't gonna make it, and who gonna do right and who not gonna do right. He said, man, just cut this thing short right now. And the most I said, nah, I can't do it like that because time got to do what it got to do. You dig what I'm saying? So we here now. So let's embrace this, right? Let's embrace where we at. Let's not make what it is that we're going through a fearful time because it's not.
If you're right with yourself and you feel like you're really doing the right thing, then what are you worried about, really?
Speak the truth, young lady. Speak the truth, young lady.
I mean, you say you keep the commandments, so what are you worried about?
What are you worried about?
You know what I'm saying? I know that I'm not perfect. I'm walking every day, learning and striving to get better. However, I'm trying my best to do the right thing. So I'm happy that it's happening. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to check up out of here. So let's
because
get
without
the ball
this
rolling.
without this happening, the Most High would never be able to make way for our exodus out of here. We are still in captivity. And we are trying to get the hell up out of here. I tried my best not to say it like that, but that was the best way to say it.
Ain't y'all ready to go? Like, because we actually believe in the book. See, that's the difference between us. We really believe. So we like, okay, y'all can keep y'all black ass here, but we fist it up.
It's time for us to go. It's time to go.
And we ain't leaving via no rapture. We're not leaving via no man to come to redeem us.
No, none of that. The ships are Tarshish, baby. The ships are Tarshish.
And I wait on that Gentile to say, hey, we inherit your lives. Let me take you to your homeland.
Exactly. That coming up out there, Zechariah. But hey, Sister Delta, we brought you here for a reason.
Okay.
You got a lot going on, and more going on than I can remember. More going on than I can write. More going on. And who better to say what's going on than the lady who got it going on? So won't you tell us? Yes, ma'am.
Appreciate that. All praises to the Most High. He is keeping me busy. That's how I'm staying sane in these crazy days that we living in. So all praises to the Most High for that. But yeah, Aki, we do have a lot of things going on here at the Light. We have an upcoming event on June 5th called the Hebrew Wall Street Community Fair. And this is just like a huge Hebrew marketplace event. We're going to have some live performances. There may be a fashion show. We're going to have some vendors selling unique Hebrew business things. basically we have an underground railroad, and we're just gonna all meet together and mingle together. It's kind of like, the kind of like the drip and sip, but not so much. You know what I mean?
Gotcha.
Like
Gotcha.
this one is more kid friendly. We're gonna
almost
have
like a fair. It's going to be a fair.
Absolutely, absolutely. We're gonna have the media there. You guys should be pulling up so we can, the people can get to meet y'all, and everybody just get to know everybody's business and network with each other, mingle with each other, and gather and have a good time doing it. That's what it's about. So that's what we got going on June 5th. In Dallas, Texas, again. And also, it's our 3-year anniversary here at the Light Hebrew Magazine. Yes, all praises to the Most High. It has been a journey in this 3 years, but it has been definitely worth it. And so our anniversary issue is coming up this month in March. Look for it in a couple of weeks. We're going to be dropping that anniversary issue. And we're just
it's going to be lit.
Yes.
It's going to be lit. I know it's going to be lit.
We're going to support everybody that's been supporting us, all the businesses over the 3 years, just all month. We're going to just be dropping and doing special things and showing our clients and our people and our supporters and everybody how we wouldn't be here without everybody. We wouldn't be here without y'all. We wouldn't be here without everybody. So it's just, this whole month is just about us pouring love and showing love back to the community that's been showing us love and keeping us afloat for these 3 years.
All praises. All praises.
Yeah.
Okay, then. All right. So, I mean, is anything musically that's coming up? Anything that's going to be equivalent to this Sip and Drip? Is there another Sip and Drip coming up?
There definitely is another Drip and Sip coming in the fall.
I'm so dyslexic, but go ahead.
And this Drip and Sip is going to be a little different. I'm not going to drop my idea live just yet. I'll tell you guys behind the scenes, but it's going to be different. It's going to be, we're going to have a great, unique time this time around with the Drip and Sip.
Lord praises.
So, yeah, but it'll still be that. This one will most likely be in like the Grand Prairie, Texas area. And it's gonna be lit when I tell y'all what we're gonna do for Israel. It's gonna be lit. So that will be around October, November. So yeah, we'll look forward to that in the fall. And I'm trying to shoot a Hebraic movie. I'm looking for brothers that are, educated in that type of stuff. I'm trying to put a Hebrew movie together, like a real live movie about who we were then and who we are now. So if anybody's out there listening, looking to get to work, holla at me.
Sounds like it's gonna be awesome. That's a big project.
Yeah.
We're gonna have to bring you back just to talk about that. We're gonna have to bring you back on the show just to talk about that, because that's a super duper huge project. I can't even begin to fathom. I like it. This is how far my mind will go. I want to do a movie, then it's done. You know what I'm saying? Because when I get to thinking about what it takes to get it, I'm like, nah, ain't gonna happen, man. So yeah, we're gonna definitely have to bring you back, to talk about that. But Sister Delta, we want to say thank you for blessing us with your presence here, letting us know what is going on. This is not going to be the last time that you're going to be here. So, and we're going to make note of everything that you said that's going on. And once again, like I say, thank you, sister. Thank you.
Thank you, brothers. Thank y'all so much for having me on, and y'all keep up the great works. I'm going to drop in the background, but I'm still tuning in because y'all conversations always get juicy. Yeah, and y'all always break it down for the brew.
Right.
Get the brew breakdown. You know what I mean? And brews need the brew breakdown. They do. Sometimes, especially the sisters watching news, it could be like blah 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 blah.
Right.
And so y'all are breaking it down. So
yes, ma'am.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you guys for having me. Shalom. Have a wonderful night. Love you guys. Talk to you soon.
Yes, ma'am. Love you too. Shalom. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that sister there be working, man. Sister there be working. Yeah. But, back to what we talking about. we got a lot going on. And this, when Sister Delta came in and Sister Delta was hitting the nail on the head, it's time to go, brother.
Yeah.
It's time to go. When I look at stuff like this, I would be lying to you if I don't get excited. I do. I get excited, but at the same time, I be telling myself, man, there's so much work that I need to do on myself, right? So much work that I need.
This is reality check moment for us in the truth.
This is reality check for real. This is the time where the rubber is meeting the road. This is where, bro, look, man, you know, we got so many different beliefs when it comes to us as Hebrews, you know, and the world would like to clump us all in one big pot, but you can't. You got those who are Torah only, you know. I'm gonna be like Suge. I'm gonna be like Suge Avery. I'm just gonna sit back in the corner and I'm gonna see what color the Most High gonna paint the wall. You see what I'm saying, right? Because I've never been able to understand how, if you Torah only, where you going to get your salvation from. You dig what I'm saying? I've never understood that. My salvation is coming from the Messiah, bro. And my Messiah is about to come. My Messiah is about to come do something that I have always told my kids. I've always told my kids, Oxify, whatever battle you can't fight, let me know and I'll come fight it for you. You can't fight this fight. And that's what my Messiah is about to come do. He's about to come fight this fight. He's about to come grab all his kids by the shoulders and say, come on, let's get up out of here. So where are we in Bible prophecy? Before we get to talking about this war, Russia, Ukraine, all of that, where are we in Bible prophecy? Let's go to Matthew chapter 24. Because like I was telling you today, man, y'all should lay this thing down in Matthew so beautiful. He could do a PowerPoint presentation on Matthew 24. A PowerPoint presentation on Matthew 24. We're going to get into this news, but we have got to show where we are in Bible prophecy, because this is not just happening. This is not just happening.
Yeah, out of nowhere.
Right. That's what they want you to believe. And we're going to get to that too in a million times. This unprovoked, how did they say it? This unprovoked attack on Ukraine. How unprovoked was it? How unprovoked was it?
Yeah. He just woke up and went crazy.
In Matthew 24, there's a few verses here I want to read. I'm going to start at verse 1. It says, and Yeshua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came unto him for to show him the building of the temple. And Yeshua said unto them, see ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left there one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat down, and as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us when these things shall be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming, and the end of the world that cannot be missed. And Yeshua answered and said, take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am the Messiah, shall deceive many, and ye shall what? Hear of wars
and rumors of wars.
And rumors of wars. But he says what after that? See that ye be not troubled. For all these things
must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
But the end is not yet, right? Because before the end, something got to happen. What did he say next?
Verse 7, for nation shall rise against nation, kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines, pestilence, and earthquakes in diverse places. All these are the beginning of sorrow.
Then the next verse says what?
Verse 9, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake.
He says that you're going to have wars, rumors of wars.
Check.
Nations is going to rise against nations.
Check.
Kingdoms against kingdoms.
Check.
Famines and pestilence.
There you go. Check and check.
Earthquakes in diverse places.
That was weird last month. Yeah, check.
All these are the beginning of sorrows.
That's just
The next thing after that is this. They shall deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you, and many shall be offended and shall betray. And many shall be offended and they shall, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. This is where we fallen in line at. So with this war that we got that is on the horizon right now, that what they doing over there in the East, with them already hitting us biochemically with the jab, that's your pestilence. We're about to start seeing famine.
You got your famine, which is what we was talking about the grocery stores. And then you got your pestilence with all the jab and the variances that
you see what I'm saying? So the next thing that we need to be paying attention to is these policies that are going to be put in place that is going to put people in what we know of as FEMA camps. And as the sister said, we hate to make it sound like it's all about us, but I'm sorry, it's all about us.
The world was created for us.
Because he said that many shall hate you. Why? For my name's sake. That's not talking to Christians. That's talking to Hebrews. When we start really waking up and start out here in these and talking about we Hebrews, we the people of this book, they already turning people opinions against us. They already doing that in the media. And so it's going to be family members that's going to turn us in. It's y'all fault. Y'all the reason why we going through all of this stuff that we going through. Why don't you just trust in Jesus? See?
The good ship.
We are going through that, So this war, Matthew 24, he gave us the bullet points on what we are going through. This is where we are in prophecy. We are between verse 1 and verse 11 of Matthew 24. He said that these are the beginning of sorrows. So there is no time for us to start getting relaxed.
Yeah.
In fact, it's time for you to make sure that your sins are put up in that most high place with the most high.
Yeah.
In the holies of holies, in that temple. So when he come, he can't find no sin on you. That you shielded behind that blood. That's why I don't understand them Torah only brews. What you got? I know you got some scriptures. What you got, man? I don't understand them brothers. I ain't got no problem saying
it. You know live. Right? You know this is live.
I do.
Right?
I do. I ain't got no problem saying it, man.
When it's all said and done, I'm gonna go ahead and give you the outcome of once all this is said and done over here in what we call America, small A, 3Ks.
Small A, 3Ks.
What we call the United Nations. What I gave you earlier, right before the show.
That Revelations. Mm-hmm.
So when it's all said and done, once America is finished sucking the life and blood out of people and having people to wake up, that's what Putin did. That's just a little hint of what we're going to talk about. He woke up and said, man, look, you ain't supposed to have my best friend, basically. So when it's all said and done, give it to me out. What is it, Revelation 17?
It was 17 and
15 and 16.
Mm-hmm.
And he said unto me,
go ahead.
Go ahead.
This is Revelation
17. Chapter 17, verses 15 through 16. And you want to add to it if you can now. Go ahead.
He said unto me, the waters which thou sawest where the whore sitteth are people and multitudes and nations and tongues. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore and shall make her desolate and naked and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire.
That's 10 horns. Your 10 horns. The nations.
The 10 horns. Those are those European nations over there. And this is the beginning of that.
America has armies set up in each and one of those spots.
Talking
about some peace.
They don't want peace, man. They do not want peace. And before we go in talking about this war, before we just go in and just get to talking about what's going on over there with that war, because we're going to expose America tonight. And in the sense of exposing America, it's almost going to sound like we on the other side when I'm not on the other side. So this is what we're going to do. I just heard it again tonight, man. On my way home from work, I just heard it again that America is now trying to make way of figuring out how we over here in America can make room for Ukrainian refugees. Make that make sense.
And Haitians too. Ukrainian and Haitians together coming over?
No. They ain't got nothing to do with no daggum. I'm sorry, brother. This ain't got nothing to do with no Haitians. And that's the problem. That's the problem. We remember this.
Yeah, you can't get past that.
We remember this.
Got the baby on his shoulders.
We remember this.
Look at lawyer. Look at lawyer. And they going through it.
I'm showing this for a purpose, because this is something that America has always done to our brothers in Haiti, in Cuba. This is something that they've always done to us. And this was something that happened that they didn't have anything to do with. This was an earthquake, all right? And so they trying to get away from a deplorable country. Their president had just gotten killed. Gangs was taking over the land. They had an earthquake. You see what I'm saying? And so they trying to find them just somewhere that was comfortable. And America always put itself out there as the place of love. And how does the Bible describe America, Revelation 13? It says that it has horns like a lamb, but it does what? It speaks as a dragon. Which means you can't trust them. And we're going to find out more about it. You cannot trust them.
That's why they're going to tear her flesh up and leave her desolate.
That's why they're going to tear her flesh up and leave her desolate. We can't forget this. Look at this. Look at this. Why America keep turning its back on Haitian migrants? When they needed the help the most, America turned their backs on them. But Ukraine, white people against white people. I'm riding with you, Whoopi. I'm riding with you, Whoopi. White people against white people. And then you got other white people who saying, hey, you can come over here and run and we'll open up our doors for you.
Yeah.
And you think I got a problem with saying this is not about us? With everything that they do, who they do it to? They do it to us. They do it to us.
We said it last week, man, that they need our votes. They need our voice. They need everything from us.
They need everything.
That goes to show you when the Most High did tell Ezra that he created the world for us, for Israel.
Con. I fist to play this little video clip, and we fist to get into this as we move on the show. Check it out.
One U.S. Border Patrol officer received Haitian migrants crossing the Rio Grande, coming back with food to a camp they've set up in Texas.
Hey, you use your women? This is why your country because you use your women for this. You go, no, that way. Hey, no. No.
We've got our families inside, dying of hunger. We've had to go out to buy food.
No!
Sanitary products? There aren't any. Food? There isn't any either. They don't give you anything.
We met Nicholas on the Mexican bank of the river, searching for food and medicine for his family. He hadn't realized until we asked him about it that US authorities are also now flying Haitians back home.
There's planes now going deporting people. What do you think about that?
What kills me about that is that everyone knows what we Haitians are going through. There's no president. Crime is high. Students can't go to school. There's no work. The economy is down. People can't put up with that. Deportation is not good for us.
Like many others, he said he'd suffered to get this far, on a journey through South America, past gangs and through a patch of jungle called the Darien Gap, notorious for rape and robbery. It was really difficult. I saw a lot of us who died, he told me. Now he's touched ground in his promised land, the US, but it looks unlikely he'll be able to stay there. In the rush for food, we didn't see him make it back across the river into Texas. And by the afternoon, Mexican security forces were patrolling the river too. It was getting even tougher.
Mexican authorities
and
have...
as you know, we are seeing Ukrainians start to flee the country. Yeah. Is the U.S. prepared to accept Ukrainian refugees?
We are, but we certainly expect that most, if not the majority, will want to go to Europe in neighboring countries. So we are also working with European countries on what the needs are, where there is capacity. Poland, for example, where we are seeing an increasing flow of refugees over the last 24 hours, or flow of individuals, I should say, out of Ukraine, what their needs are, and we've been talking and engaging with Europeans about that for some time now.
What part of what you're doing is to prepare for the United States to accept?
The president is certainly prepared for that, but I would just note that because there are a number of European countries neighboring Ukraine who have expressed an openness to it, we would anticipate many of them would want to go to European countries.
And just one more quick question. The president, of course, has repeatedly said that American troops will not enter Ukraine. Yeah. Is there any scenario that has been discussed where that decision might be reconsidered?
The president has no intention of sending U.S. troops to fight in Ukraine. That has not changed.
And in case you did not hear what she said, the first question was, is America preparing herself to accept Ukrainian refugees? And her answer was, yes, we are. After the treatment of what they did to the Haitians last year. Just when they had the earthquake. Just last year. After that treatment. But yeah, we're going to open up our borders for the Ukrainians because of what's going on over there. That goes to show you that integration stuff, that stuff there was farce, man. Yep. Everything is still segregated, man. That dream that dude had.
They're gonna come over here and get all the Civil Rights Act, get all the Minority Act. They fist to get it all. When all y'all did just let more white people in the white land.
That's all you did. And that's what bothers me when I hear Negroes who say that America is great. Show me where. Where is it great at? I do not get on here just to bash this place. I get on here and I deliberately point out the stuff that this place here has done to us over the years and what it is still doing to us.
I'm here to bash it.
And once you point
everything out, I like to bash it after we point it out.
Right. There's no need to. These people here risked their lives to come over here. And did you hear what the news reporter said to his promised land, America? But yet when he got here, he was met with white men on horses and whips talking to him crazy.
That man did a nice job. Drove a bus, rescued a lot. Instead of being praised as a hero.
It's sad, man. This is the place that we live. This is the place that we think is home. This is the place that many of us would take our hats off and put our hands over the heart and salute to that flag. This is the place where we send our sons and our daughters to their military to fight their wars when they ain't did nothing for us. Nothing. and not doing anything for us. They spit in our face, and we continue to love them, man. We continue to love them. So we got some news. We're going to get into what's going on in Russia. This is what the agenda is. I'm hoping that we're not a little slow getting into it, right? It's a lot we got to go, get into. But we're going to talk about Ukraine. We're going to talk about Russia. We're going to talk about post-Cold War. We're going to talk about during the Cold War. We're going to bring this all the way up into today. So just sit back and enjoy the show. As you can see, the time is going to be a little longer than what it normally is, but that's okay. Let's get this your Q in, mirrors, and then we're going to come back and we're going to go through the show and we're going to wrap it up. Your Q, mirrors. I believe this is her new one as well.
This is Mixlot Production.
This a time of reflection, mirror, mirror. Is it my soul or my flesh perception? In times, it's over about a minute now. Ain't no time for second guessing. One shot at life can't be neck to neck with sin. No ties, ain't no overtime. Broad road trying to squeeze through the intersection. Life give you lemons, so you better make juice. How you inheriting the kingdom with some dried up fruit? How you looking, no cross-dressing, 2-1 food? You got a labor to be delivered, like a travailing woman pushing through for her miracle. Out of the mouth of babe, drooling on the land, so some will be saved. 'Tis the season that we need to obey. Early bird get the worm, y'all can't even relate. Little folding of the hands, you sleep half a day. You sleeping, they whitewashing, bleaching your face. They can switch up the colors, but we all die. They tryna X you out, but we all gotta why. We all gotta, yeah, but we all gotta why. They can switch up the colors, but we all die. They trying to X you out, but we all gotta why. Yeah. We all gotta. Dear sister, yes ma'am, it's bigger than butts. Does it ever hit your mind? Am I thinking too much? You and your man's in the hole, paw with the putts. They holding toys with red dots, targets of us. Yikes, it's the uphill battle, take the hike. They ballin' from your beating, yeah, Mike and Knight. They on the low, new heights, have a pipe. Get it hurled from the heavens, angel of light. Say it with my chest, I mean it. Breastplate, I'm trying to have it beaming. I'm in it year round like 4 seasons. Breastplate, I'm trying to have it beaming. They can switch up the colors, but we all die. They trying to X you out, but we all gotta why. We all gotta why. We all gotta why. They can switch up the colors, but we all die. They trying to X you out, but we all gotta why. Don't let it get you down. Don't let it take your pride. Don't let it get you down. We all gotta why.
This is Mixlot Production.
We all gotta why. We all gotta why. We all gotta why. Don't let it get you down.
You know, the more I listen to her, man, and the more mature she get in her style and everything, I'm starting to believe she right for Roshan now. That's Roshan ghostwriter.
Okay, then.
Yeah. Flow now. They just come on out with it.
Yeah. She has a for real MC hip hop sound now. You know, I like that. Like she's using vocabulary and her cadence and everything. It's, you know what I'm saying? It's mature. Like you said, it's very mature. For someone who has not been doing it as long as she has been. She's very mature. Yeah. But let's get into this though, man. The media play games. The media play a lot of games. The thing that bothers me the most is when I hear the media say this unprovoked attack on Ukraine. And you got so many people who look at that and that's exactly what they believe. They believe that this man here just woke up one morning and he was like, hey, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to send my troops over to Ukraine and we just going to bomb them for no reason at all. That's unprovoked. That's what unprovoked is. And one of the hardest things in the world to do, is the research. And that's why so few people do it. So it's easier for them to sit up and watch CNN, MSNBC, CBS, and all of these different, and Fox News and all of these different news stations and just accept what it is that they hearing and believe what it is that they believe in. And they never go and try to find out for themselves, how did we get here? How did we get here?
They think, you know, even though they're not going to ask how did we get here. They're going to see that we here and be like, okay, America take care of it. Well, like they always done. People still believe that this is a superpower military, man.
People still believe that this is a military, that is a superpower. And I'm going to tell you this, the threat is not Russia. The threat is really China. And that's a whole nother subject, right? That's a whole nother subject. The threat is not Russia. The threat is China. But you have got to add, this is a man, Putin is a man, Vladimir Putin is a man that has been in power for 22 years. 22 years. And if you think that all of a sudden this dude has just lost his mind and was like, hey, I'm fit to go bomb these people that's right next door to me, something is wrong. Something caused him to go there. And like I was telling my wife, Putin is doing exactly what America wanted him to do. They was pushing his buttons till he got to this point. And then the media tell us that it was unprovoked. The media tell us is that they're over there just killing civilians at will. The media tell us that he done lost his mind and they sanctioning him. They closing his banks and they taking his vodka off the shelves, this, that, and the other. And then you got the American people saying, we need to go over there and send our military over there and stop them. No, that's what you don't want. Now we talking politics.
It's fun. It's funny that he's senile and crazy and doing all this, but he stays awake. He know where he at. He don't fall upstairs.
He don't have to get updated.
He don't have to get updated. He don't have to. He don't have to say stuff like, "I'm gonna put a black woman in the Supreme Court," just to remind himself he needs to put a black person somewhere. Yeah, but Putin is the one out of mind.
The United States needed Russia, man. They needed Russia. They need the same analogy that I gave you is the same one I'm gonna share here. They need Russia like Superman need Lex Luthor. They need Russia the same way Batman need the Riddler and the Penguin and all that. They need, because without them, who is Batman? Who is Superman? Without Russia, who is America? America has been poking the barrel at Russia, and Russia is the barrel. By way, no pun intended, but they have been poking the barrel for years, and Putin has got to a point where he's fed up. This is what people don't understand. This is what we're about to show in this show tonight, how we got to where we are, right? Another video clip. Because I can tell you that Putin wanted to be a part of NATO. I can tell you that, right? But it's better that you hear it from the horse's mouth than hear it from me.
They'd rather hear it from him anyway.
You see what I'm saying? So what happened? And what is NATO, by the way, before we get into this? NATO is the North Atlantic Treaty Organization, which they formed after World War II to keep peace in the East and to protect the Eastern countries from an uprising of any country that could try to take them over. And
Now,
so they threat at that time was Soviet Union. Go ahead.
I would say now, anybody, any country that decides to get up under their umbrella, feel like they got free will. Okay, I got the biggest bodyguard around me. I can do whatever I want to do.
But
you
this is
join
what people.
NATO. You join NATO, you become somewhat like freedom of like America.
Right, and that's what I was about to say. When you come a part of NATO, your government changes as well. So if you were communist, you're no longer communist. Now you're going to be a democracy communist. You're going to vote for what it is that you have. You dig what I'm saying? And for what you want. That's how they do stuff. They don't do stuff like that over there in the East. They don't do stuff like that. And so it would be equivalent of you coming into my house, changing up all of my rules. What you think I'm going to do? You think I'm just going to sit here and let you do that? Or do you think I'm going to fight back?
It'd be equivalent to, I make the rules, but my son come back and say, you ain't got to follow my daddy law.
There you go. You see? That's exactly what it's like. And so Putin, I believe, Putin, when he first got into office in 2000, one of the very first things he asked, which he had a right to ask because there was no more Soviet Union, which really meant that there was no more need of NATO, actually, because you built NATO to protect the Eastern countries from Russia, Soviet Union, USSR, Russia proper, whatever it is that you want to call it. You built NATO to protect them from that. Now that has been dismantled. It's just Russia. Gorbachev is gone. Yeltsin is gone. Now it's Putin. One of the very first things he asked was, can I be a part of NATO?
Then finally, the year 2000, Mr. Putin is not elected, although elected, to the presidency. And one of the first things he does is to ask for Russia to become a member of NATO. Why not be a member of NATO? NATO was created to defend Europe, and perhaps not only Europe, from Soviet aggression, from a country that you couldn't predict. There is no more Soviet Union, and there is no more Warsaw Pact. Why can't we create an organization where we're part of it, said Mr. Putin, and act together to protect from some kind of aggression? He was told, go take a walk, basically. What about some kind of partnership or becoming part of the European Union? Again, and this is all documented. Everything I say, except when I say my opinion, is documented. You can look it up. And he said, no, you're too big. Your country's too big. You can't. And all the while, Russia was being reminded that it's no longer really that important a country. Now, one of the things you must keep in mind is that much like the Americans, the Russians believe that they have a mission.
So this is what was going on. America is the big brother. Russia is the little brother. The little brother is just trying to see eye to eye with the big brother. And instead of the big brother bringing the little brother along, the big brother just steadily pushing the little brother down. And the little brother done finally got to a point where he broke. And the big brother knew that this day would eventually come. There was a promise to Russia, and the promise was, it was made by a guy by the name of James Baker. he told Gorbachev that if he would just bring down the wall and let Germany back in, right, which was back into NATO. You bring down the wall, let them back in. We won't set no NATO military outside of Germany walls, and NATO would not move 1 inch farther east. In other words, we would not try to accumulate any more eastern countries. Just let us have Germany, and y'all can have everything else. This was documented. This was a record. And the wall came down. So many people think that the Berlin Wall came down because America brought it down. America didn't have nothing to do with that. That came down out of internal agreements. That's why it came down. They agreed to bring it down internally.
Right.
Russia proper, Ukraine, and a country that I can't pronounce, and I'm not going to even try to pronounce it. 3 countries made up the Soviet Union. Nah, it wasn't. It started with a V, right? But they decided to bring the Berlin Wall down, and this was one of the reasons. So the expansion of NATO was explosive. That was America. That was America again spitting on Russia. Listen. In 2000, what was the first thing that Putin did? He asked to be a part of NATO.
Hey, let us join. Oh, you too big. Russia's too big to. Come on now.
If they really wanted peace, remember what we were saying in the beginning. If they really wanted peace, they could have had peace, but they don't want peace.
No.
They gotta have an enemy. There's always have to be a threat of war, because if there's not a threat of war, guess what you cannot control? You can't control the people.
Right.
You control the people with the threat of war, because the threat of war generates fear, and fear generates money in order for these countries to build these gigantic military presence all over the world.
So that explains when you go. That explains when you see, like in the Middle East, tow up neighborhoods, tow up buildings, dust everywhere. Nothing has been fixed in the last 20 years. Only thing that happened: military and banks.
That's it. That's it. That's it. So they told Gorbachev this. I want to say it's between 86 and 89 when they told Gorbachev this, somewhere around in there, right? We're not gonna move. We're not gonna move 1 inch eastward. That's what they said. So they stayed put to 1996. And guess what NATO did? They expanded.
Move forward.
Poland, Czech Republic, and Hungary. Now Putin is looking at this, and they want to say that this was an unprovoked attack on Ukraine. Now, what people don't understand is that Ukraine used to be a part of Russia.
Yep.
And the borderlines is backed up to Russia.
It's right there, and Russia is all around it.
Exactly. So we do business over here in the East like this. NATO coming over here, whispering, flirting with them. I'm going to go on and say that's what they doing. They flirting with them, and they flirting back. And Putin sitting over here looking at this, and Putin is like, look, y'all didn't learn when I thumped George's butt in 2003? That's why he thumped George in 2003.
Yeah.
Leave my people alone. That's just like, I don't have no better analogy. And most time if I'm wrong, please forgive me. But if I'm a pimp, these is my harems. I don't need you, Mr. Pimp, coming over here messing with my... These mine. And that's what Putin is saying. We doing fine over here. Leave my people alone. In fact, you promised that you wouldn't, and you did in 96, and you trying to do it again. What did Revelation 13 say about America? It got horns like a lamb.
They speak like a dragon.
But it speaks like a dragon. How did we get here?
So to make it easy, you know that what they say in the video, that if you tell a Russian no, it's like spitting in their face.
Con.
They did it twice.
Con.
And then came to Ukraine, laid their make down on Ukraine, and Ukraine falling for it.
Con. The guy who wrote this article, that is called, I'm finna tell you the name of this article over here. The guy who wrote this article that is called "I Was There, NATO, the Origins of the Ukraine Crisis." This Ukraine crisis started way back in the 80s.
Yeah.
And this is what bothers me when the media is always saying it's unprovoked, it's unprovoked. And people be buying that. Listen to the news, listen to them. They say unprovoked attack on Ukraine. It was not unprovoked. It's America's fault. It is America's fault that he is attacking Ukraine right now. Why? Because Ukraine has been flirting with the enemy. You read it in Revelation. The 10 horns are going to destroy this joker, man. That's them European nations.
Yep.
That's them European nations. Those are the same 10, those 10 horns are the same 10 toes that's on that statue in Daniel.
Yeah.
The same ones. So when they got to expand it, Putin is like, wait a minute. Now, you want Georgia to be a part of NATO. You want Ukraine to be a part of NATO. You already got Germany, who is the second largest European nation that is over here.
Man,
and when I asked to be a part of NATO, you tell me no. You know what?
Right.
You know what Putin is saying? Putin is saying, I'll tear Ukraine up before I let you have it.
Right.
I'll tear it up before I let you have it.
And see, that makes a lot more sense to he just woke up and pressed the red button.
That's how they want to make it sound. But I want to go back a little bit farther. I got another video that I got to show how Putin has put himself out there to help. But America keeps slapping him in the face. Check this one out.
He came in with good deeds. Go ahead.
Check this one out.
Now here we have Putin, who, as you know, as soon as 9/11 happens, calls up Bush Jr., W., and offers his help. And yes, and does help in Afghanistan. And if you want to have your soldiers, your military people in Central Asia, right on our borders, be my guest. And in Georgia, absolutely. So it's not just words. You know, we want to fight terrorism together. And gets nothing in exchange. So finally, in 2007, in Munich, speaking to the group of 20 in Munich, Putin says this. This is February 10th. I think it is obvious that NATO expansion does not have any relation with the modernization of the alliance itself or with ensuring security in Europe. On the contrary, it represents a serious provocation that reduces the level of mutual trust. And we have the right to ask, against whom is this expansion intended? And what happened to the assurance of our Western partners made after the dissolution of the Warsaw Pact? Where are those declarations today? No one even remembers them. But I will allow myself to remind this audience what was said. I would like to quote the speech of General Secretary Mr. Werner of Brussels on May 17, 1990. He said at the time, quote, "The fact that we are not ready to place a NATO army outside of German territory gives the Soviet Union a firm security guarantee." Where are these guarantees? And do you know what the answer was? The answer was yes, but that was guarantees given to the Soviet Union.
I'm glad my mic was muted when I said that, motherfucker. Golly, bro, it's the loophole, but not the loophole. Hey, that was for them. The U.S. Hey, y'all know them longer together. That was just for them. All right, well, if it's just for them, then y'all break up.
The whole point of NATO was because of the fear that they had against Russia, even when it was the Soviet Union. They had a fear of Russia proper because that was the biggest land, and they was the ones who supposedly had the nuclear bombs along with America, right? Back in the 50s. That's when they had our mamas and our daddies hiding up under desks, right? Because of the threat of nuclear bomb, like a desk is gonna save you from a nuclear bomb if it falls, right? Remember, there always gotta be a threat of war. Always. Neither one of them was gonna drop no nuke, man. That's suicide.
Yeah, on both ends. That's homicide and suicide.
But you condition the mind to, hey, this could happen. Oh, so we got to get up under the desk, right? You condition the mind. So you got minions. That's what they are. You making people minions walking around talking to each other. Man, I hope they don't push the button. Ain't nobody pushing no button. So you want to talk about unprovoked attack? What about America when they bombed Yugoslavia March 24th through June 10th of 1980? That's unprovoked.
Yeah.
You want to talk about unprovoked attacks? Nobody talks about that, huh? And the United Nations did not even give America a sanction to do it. So they acted on their own when they did it.
Yeah, they are willy-nilly with everything.
They acted on their own when they did it. And so you got this man sitting over here. He's asking to be a part of the solution.
Right.
Because the only way to really have peace over there in the East is to include all of those nations into NATO. Now we all got a part of the pie. We all sitting at the table. But what they did was they was allowing everybody else to sit at the big man, at the grown-up table, and they kept putting Russia at the kid table. What do you expect him to do?
With nobody else, man. Don't you know how lonely it is at the kids' table by yourself?
It is lonely at the kids' table by yourself. It's lonely at the kid, and it's humiliating because all the grown-ups know that you grown sitting at the kids' table.
Right.
What you expect him to do, huh? What do you expect him to do? How unprovoked is this? How did we get here? Is the question. America. They had arms control agreements with Russia. They backed out of that. They just backed out of it. They knew, I'm going to wrap this up, they're getting the reaction out of Putin that they wanted so that the media can make Putin look like modern day Hitler. This is what they wanted.
Exactly what they want.
They knew at some point he was going to snap.
And then they played it backwards. They withdraw all his resources, all his contacts, everything. Then they provoked him. Now he's by himself out there.
He's by himself out there, man. He is by himself out there, and they knew that this was going to happen. So when it happened, and even with Ukraine, because Ukraine has had enough time to be a part of NATO, they drugged their feet on him because they knew that he was gonna snap on them. Look, I'm gonna show you how evil these people are, man. Ukraine and America been flirting with each other forever. America was using Ukraine to make Putin snap.
Yeah.
They drug their feet with Ukraine because they can't help Ukraine because Ukraine is not a part of NATO. So they like, yeah, we gonna do this. Yeah, baby. I know I miss you too. Yeah, I know. Okay, yeah. But not yet. And then boom, he snapped. Now, all of a sudden, this unprovoked attack that he got on Ukraine, we have millions of refugees fleeing the place, and we got Putin soldiers killing dozens of civilians, and we need to send as much as we can. This is what they wanted.
Man.
This is your country.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The eagle.
They knew this was going to happen. And now Putin is sitting over here looking like the crazy man when America has been the one stirring the pot. And then you got all of these corporations taken away from Putin. And what they doing? They are rewarding bad behavior by America. That's why that text that you read in Revelations is so important. Because the people that's riding with America, what most people don't know, they don't even like America. Don't nobody like America. They ride with America because America got the resources. America got the money. But as soon as they can figure out how to get from up under America, guess what? They all gonna turn their back on them. This place finna burn.
Burn.
And as the sister said, I'm welcoming it.
Yeah.
I'm welcoming it. See? So I just wanted to clear the air up tonight. So people can know.
Break it down. The reason why Putin is the way he is, this has been brought back since his first time in office. He wanted to join the peace treaty. He wanted to get on a peace treaty to bring more peace, less violence to Russia. They said no. He asked again. Now, it's disrespectful to tell a Russia no. He asked again. They said no. Then when 9/11 hit, he allowed them to bring the troops onto Russian land. Okay, thinking, okay, I did this, now let me in. Nah, we good. Spit in the man's face for a third time.
Backed out of the arms treaty that they had. Never wanted to sit down and talk to the man as a man. Never want to sit down and talk to the man as a man. So, ladies and gentlemen, when you listening to the media, this is the whole point of this program that we have, is that we try our best to decode the BS that they be putting out there amongst our people. And like the sister said when she was here, we hate to make this all about us, but it is all about us. It is all about us. And the Most High, all of these nations, he gonna bring them to this valley that's called the Valley of Jehoshaphat. All of them. And that's where they gonna turn guns on everybody, because see, what we seeing is Biden and Putin, but what we not seeing is the gods that's running these nations. And no God want to share dominion with another God. And these gods are going to turn on each other because there got to be one. But there's only one that's going to make it. He said, look here, I tread the wine press by myself.
Yeah.
So what? See, all bloody. You see what I'm saying? With that sword, man. Right? Knocking heads off.
Taking crowns. That's what he meant about taking crowns. He's taking crowns. He's
walking through with heads, taking crowns. So I'm going to say it again. All you Torah only, I don't know where you're going to get it from. But I got a Messiah that's going to come through that's going to knock some heads off. Coming back for his. Coming back for his.
Y'all can wait on Moses all y'all want.
You can wait on that, brother. Him not coming back. Him not coming back. Him is not coming back. All right?
That's all.
This is the beginning. This is the beginning of sorrows. That's what Yasha said in Matthew 24. This is the beginning. Pestilence, check. Famines, check. Wars, check. Rumors of wars, check.
Yep.
Earthquakes in divers places, check. What we looking for next? They're about to start rounding us up, locking us up. Family members about to start turning us in. Yeah, all of that. That's what we looking for next. So when we see these things, we can't be discouraged. All we can be like, say, man, my big cousin told me that this thing was going to happen. We already know. That's why Hey, I'm telling you right now, on the end note, start buying foods, non-perishables. If you're in a position, if you live in a house and you can buy you a generator, buy you a generator. Get you weapons to protect yourself and your family. Learn how to use them. Find you skills on how you can survive outside. Learn how to do. YouTube is full of it. It's full of it.
We got a brother that's in that area.
LA, he has been on the show. Listen, this is the time because it's going to be a sad day when you go into these grocery stores and there's no foods there. The truckers done already stopped in Canada. You think they got food in them stores in Canada? If they do, I don't know how. Look at the gas prices, man. Look at I put $40 in my vehicle and barely got past half. No lie.
$10 is 2 gallons, 2.4 gallons.
Quit being distracted with the craziness that is in this world. Pay attention to what's going on. If you have not picked up one of these, pick it up and read it. And remember that you are the people of this book, and the Most High is coming back for what's his.
God.
He is coming back for what's his. And no matter what the media say, this was not an unprovoked attack on Ukraine.
Unprovoked.
America provoked this. They knew that it was going to happen. Any closing remarks?
I'll praise to the Most High for this wonderful show that he blessed us with. And fear the Most High, keep his commandments, because that's the whole duty of man.
Khan. Shalom, Israel, I am Shia Yeshua, Judah. On that note, we're going to end it out, and we'll see you guys next Thursday. And thank you, Sister Delta, for blessing us tonight.
It's on unraveling. It's on unraveling.
Listen, man, in case you didn't know, no, it's almost getting close. In case you didn't know.
This has been real. We would like to thank you, and we will see you at this same time next week.
Only the ones with no faith that take the vaccines. Step to me with it, I'ma make your back lean. We at the end, new Sodom and Gomorrah. Christ about to come and mop the floor up. Walking up in Louis V with your mask on. Check the me's, man, they about to get their blast on. Prophecy, interpretation, Isaiah 55:11, so it ain't no faking. Crack your dough, it's getting close. I'm here to tell you, just in case you didn't know. Listen, man, in case you didn't know, no, it's almost getting close. In case you didn't know, no, it's on unraveling. Babylon got pregnant with a daughter.